All right, thank you all so much for coming out tonight to the spring band concert. For those of you that might not know me, my name is Chris Witherow. I am the middle school band director here in Marshall. Now, before we get started, we do have some very traditional housekeeping items to go over. Number one, if you have a cell phone, if you could please silence it. For those of you that have been around a while, I did change my ringtone. It is now the Office theme song instead of Africa by Toto. As much as I would love to hear what yours is, we do want to listen to the kids play, so if you could silence those, that would be great. Secondly, if you have a child that needs attention, we do keep the left and right lane doors open, so you can just bring them up while still being able to enjoy the concert. Lastly, the concert is 5th and 7th grade. If you would be so kind as to remain seated while we switch groups and stay for the full performance, that would be much appreciated. On stage is the 5th grade band. This is the first year we have a band in middle school, and let me tell you, we have made a ton of progress even since the last time you saw them on stage. It's so exciting to hear them play at this last concert from the very beginning of the year when we don't know how to put our stuff together, to we're playing songs that are they're pretty challenging. So, without further ado, we'll get started. Our first piece is titled Ancient. Our second piece for you tonight does not need any introduction. I've been at Southview this week talking to 4th graders about joining bands, and I say, how many of you have seen Star Wars? Almost every hand shoots up and they say yes. So this one does not need an introduction. This is the theme from Star Wars. yourself, okay, Mr. Weather, that was fantastic, but why didn't you end with it? Well, this last piece, Popcorn Prelude, is very appropriately titled. It has a certain element to it that is not necessarily traditional of band class. So I'll let you kind of determine why it might be titled Popcorn. After they're done with this piece, we will do a quick switch to 7th grade and then continue on. This is Popcorn Prelude. right, thank you so much for your patience. On stage is the 7th grade band. Now the unique part about 7th grade here at the middle school is this year, if students are in both band and orchestra, they go back and forth every day except for 7th grade. So they will have band every single day for 30 minutes. And it is kind of crazy how much progress we can make with that kind of time. The 7th grade year is always a blast. We get really into just the next kind of level of music. So we have 3 pieces for you tonight. This first one is a popular pop tune from a few years ago. Maybe not my preferred genre, classic rock here. But nonetheless, if you want to sing along, this is Shut Up and Dance. Our second piece also needs very little introduction. This was one of my favorite both songs. So I remember when I was in 6th or 7th grade, I can't quite remember. I played this song and it was like, my favorite movie. I get to play this song, my favorite movie. My favorite movie has since changed. The new Top Gun's coming out. I'm really excited. For liking a bunch of 80s stuff, being born in the early 90s, doesn't quite jive, but it is what it is. And the second piece for you tonight is Pirates of the Caribbean. All right, before we play our final piece for this evening, I'd like to thank my coworkers, Wes Myers and Tori Hornby, for always helping me out with whatever I need, from running lights to rallying kids to just, bouncing ideas off each other, to administration, custodians, other teachers, just for letting me do what I do. But without a doubt, the biggest thank you always has to go to you, the parents. I love what I do, and I could not do it without your support, so thank you. Our final piece is entitled Afterburn, which, for those of you that might not know, is kind of like the super speed on like a fighter jet, and it is very appropriate for this piece. It starts fast and it just doesn't quit. So thank you so much for coming tonight. This is Afterburn. from the movie Up, like I just did. All right, thank you all so much for coming out tonight to our spring band concert. For those of you that might not know me, my name is Chris Witherow. I am the band director here at the middle school. This is the 6th and 8th grade concert, but before we get started, we have our traditional housekeeping items to go through. First and foremost, now I know your ringtone might be great. For those of you that have been around a while, mine is different. It is now the office theme song instead of Africa by Toto. I know, some of you are disappointed, but it's a good show. That being said, we are here to hear the kids play. We don't want to hear those. If you can silence your cell phones, that would be super. If you have small children, we do keep the left and right wing doors open so that you can take them out and attend to them while still hearing the performance. And last but not least, the concert is 5th and 7th grade. No, 6th and 8th grade, we already did that one. If you could stay for the full duration of the concert, that would be very much appreciated. The transition in between the two is pretty short, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Up first is 6th grade band. We'll play 3 selections for you. The first being Liturgical Sing. Our next piece is entitled Clash and Roar. It's not based on anything, it's just one of those good old-fashioned, good band songs. This is Clash and Roar. During the doldrums of winter, I guess, one of the assignments that we do during class to kind of break up playing every day, just to kind of take a little break, is I let the kids explore the website that I purchase music from. Kind of sort of give them the criteria that their band would have, and then I have them write the pieces on the board. This next one came from that assignment. I was listening to some of the recommendations, kind of stumbled upon this one, and I was like, oh, this is a good one. So I was able to buy it, and we worked on it. It's really fun. I also keep wanting to say the Berenstain Bears. It's not. It's from the Jungle Book, but I keep getting them confused in my head. This is the Bare Necessities. All right, on stage we have the 8th graders for their last middle school concert. We have 3 very different pieces for you tonight. The first is Some of the Heroes. It was written by John Williams to kind of as the opening for the Olympics. So we have the Winter Olympics this year. Now, for those of you that might not know, your middle school band director is part of the champion curling team here in Marshall. Just in case you were wondering, you're in the presence of curling goodness. So this is Some of the Heroes. The second piece we have for you tonight is titled Jungle Dance. So one of the more interesting parts about this is that for one of the very few pieces that I know of that the percussion section does not use snare drum or bass drum. It has a lot of this other auxiliary percussion that you'll kind of hear throughout. It also has a lot of lots of layers to it. So when one section's playing, there's a lot of kind of these different lines going on at the same time, especially towards the end. So we'll give them just a moment here to bring out all their stuff. Rock and roll. All right, while we set up for our final piece, which will take just a minute or so, I have a couple thank yous and some announcements of sorts. First, I'd like to thank my coworkers, Tori Hornby and Wes Myers. Everything from helping at concerts to bouncing off ideas from, they're awesome. Thank you to administration and custodians and other staff just for helping me do what I do. And lastly, but most definitely not leastly, is you, the parents. I love what I do, and I could not do it without your continued support. So thank you so much. When we are done with our final piece, as we have done in the past, everything needs to go back in the band room. So at the completion of this piece, we'll just move everything in the band room and then be on our way. So our final piece is called Junkyard Jam, which, as you maybe can tell, incorporates some junk. So we have some non-traditional percussion here up front. Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy.